Hey guys, this is SoulRack333 with another custom review, and here I have my Star Wars Black Series Darth Twi'lek. That just sounds like a slur. Uh, I think there is a Twi'lek Sith Lord in during the Darth. Um, oh man, I forget his name. 100 years into the future with Cade Skywalker. Oh man, Darth something. When you have a whole bunch of Sith Lords like Darth Talon, and it'll come back to me after the review is done. There is an unnamed Sith Lord that is a Twi'lek, and since he's unnamed, at least in the copy that I have, I don't remember if he has a name. If he has a name, just let me know. For now, he's Darth Twi'lek. I'm just going to name them after their species. So if there's a human, it's going to be Darth Human. And this was just a simple head swap and hand swap. I took the Bib Fortuna head and hands and put them on some Marvel Legends Eternals figure. I've never seen that movie. I only bought this figure because it was black and red. I knew I was going to use that in some way as a custom Sith Lord. And oh, it looks cool with his head. I think the skin tone is close, but with his Leku, kind of covers it up anyway. The hands did not fit, which was a bummer. I almost went with the original hands, or I used an alternate set of hands, which was okay, but the hands didn't allow for a lightsaber grip. So I just used the hot glue method. Normally I've used those for neck joints, but it worked for the wrist. Just a little dab of hot glue, and then just popped them in there, and it worked. So still has wrist swivel, and it has a tight fit. Now the thing that's annoying, this is how Marvel, or not Marvel, Hasbro cuts cost. Look at the beautifully detailed paint here on the front, but not the back. That is just bullshit. And every one of these reviewers that say, well, you know, you're not gonna display it from the back, fuck you. You need to call out Hasbro every time they do shit like this. But when you say, no one displays it from the, you're giving them a pass. You're saying it's okay to screw us. Okay? They increased the price on these, and then they still cut corners. No. I only got this figure because it was on clearance, like every Eternals figure. Yeah? And even though these were on clearance, I still had no desire to buy the entire wave. I didn't see the movie, and the figures looked like crap. Yeah. So, so yeah, and I don't want to mess it up, so I'm not gonna paint those. You know, I mean, I want to, but I'll probably get the wrong paint and then it'll rub off. So yeah, unfortunately I'm gonna leave it the way it is, since I'm not gonna display it from the back. But he does look cool. I mean, he looks intimidating. Yeah. And I don't know, maybe these two are a pair, master and apprentice. Maybe Darth Calamari is the master, since he doesn't have a lightsaber. And Darth Twi'lek is the apprentice. And let's see how old Sheev. approves of this. Vader. So I'm slowly building up my Sith army. Here's another Sith Lord. Oh, I have other plans. And then here's another Sith Lord, my custom Darth Plagueis. With his apprentice. Still like how this turned out. My Darth Vader, if he had survived Mustafar unscathed. See, that's why I wish the prequels had been done differently. It would have been awesome to see an undamaged Darth Vader. You know, Anakin turns to the dark side. You actually see him hunting down Jedi. Those Jedi instantly know who he is. You know, call him Anakin, and he either kills them immediately without correcting them that he's now Darth Vader, or he tells them Anakin is dead, I am now Darth Vader, and kills him anyway. I mean, it would have been cool to see an undamaged, fully powered, Darth Vader before he meets Obi-Wan. Because then we could have seen how powerful he was as he takes down multiple Jedi, not just Padawans and younglings. And when you see the damage he had done and how Kenobi was the one that defeated him, that just reinforces how powerful Obi-Wan was. That would have been awesome to see. So, oh well. Now, I did finally, I don't remember if I saw it online, but someone pointed out, because I did not like Hayden's acting in episode 2. I do not like Attack of the Clones. And he comes off as a creepy stalker. Just creepy. And whiny and complaining. It's just, and then when you get to Revenge of the Sith, I think he's better, and he's definitely better towards the end. But I wish we had seen him as friends, and his acting was still kind of like weird until I realized he's speaking in Darth Vader's tone, very cold and emotionless, and I didn't realize that. Just imagine everything he's saying in Revenge of the Sith with James Earl Jones's voice. I think that's what that was, but it wasn't clear. It would have been nice to see again Anakin as friendly and nice and someone you're rooting for, even though you know he's going to turn. You're rooting for him, and you're screaming at the screen, no, don't do it, and he does it, and it's painful and tragic, and you have the tragedy of Darth Vader. It's tragic to see him fall and become pure evil. Imagine if we had seen his light side, him laughing, smiling with friends. It would have been nice to see Anakin with Jedi of his own age, But then when things get serious, that's when he speaks in his more measured tones. You know, so when he's friendly, he's more upbeat, casual. But when it's time to get real, that's when he speaks more measured. That would have been nice to see. Anyway, here's another Sith Lord, Darth Ahsoka. I think I named her Darth Sabich. Sabik, I don't know, a Polish word for death, if I remember correctly. And then the other Darth Ahsoka, and I was able to tighten the wrists or the shoulders. And the way I did that was a rubber band. I used the same idea for stiffening ball joints and transformer figures using tissue paper. Just a little tiny wedge of tissue paper into the ball socket, and that tightens the ball joint. That works. So no more crazy glue for me, just little wedge of tissue paper. Tissue paper wasn't going to work here, but I figured maybe a rubber band. So in the shoulder, when you pop the shoulder joint, you have the part that sticks into the shoulder, the socket. I just cut a little square rubber band, poked a hole in it so that this can fit in that, and then wedged the whole thing into the socket, and it worked. Now it does have a little bounce, but just keep going, go past the point where you want, and it'll reset down to where you do want it. So it worked. I'm very happy because I really liked this combination. Again, this was a head swap with, I think, Electra. But yeah, so again, my Sith army is growing. And then Darth Grogu. And I have more Sith customs that I'm not going to show here because it's on my shelf, and you've seen those before. It's my Darth Luke, Darth Leia, Darth Padme. Somehow she gets strong with the Force. So that way you have the entire Skywalker family, including Padme, strong with the Force, the dark side. I'm not including my Inquisitors because they are Inquisitors, not Sith Lords. And no acolytes here. They are apprentices. God, that acolyte show. Here are my thoughts. Star Wars is dead. Disney killed it. Kathleen Kennedy killed it. I loved Star Wars growing up, back when it was the original trilogy. And then the prequels came out, and we were so excited for the prequels, and they were just disappointing. I understand those that grew up with it. Hey, Nimona. Hey, what are you doing, lady? You wanna hang out here as I rant about Star Wars? Oh, no. You don't want to hear my rant? Episode 1 was cool. Everyone hated Jar Jar. People did not like young Anakin. The political stuff, it was okay. I mean, I didn't mind it, but yeah, it did seem to slow the movie down. But that's fine. That didn't bother me. It was Jar Jar that was just terrible, and the young Anakin, you can hear the eye rolling. And then just the whole guns. Ugh. And just too much CG. That said, Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, and Darth Maul, even seeing Darth Sidious, and the Jedi, that was cool. Attack of the Clones was pure garbage. I hated that movie. It was awesome to see Christopher Lee as Count Dooku, the Darth Tyrannus. That was cool. That's it though. I mean, it was a shit movie. The only way I can tolerate that movie is if I watch it in the machete order. If you don't know what the machete order is, that is watching episodes. Watching Star Wars, then Empire Strikes Back, then flashback to Attack of the Clones, then Revenge of the Sith, and then finish off with Return of the Jedi. The Phantom Menace, that's just a Star Wars story. And watching it in the machete order is actually cool. Then I don't mind episode 2. But my version of episode 2 is the anti-cheese edition, a fan edit. So I do have all 3 anti-cheese fan edits. So that's how I watch Star Wars. That dude cut too much out, I think. His episode 1, he cut the celebration scene at the end, which I thought was stupid. Attack of the Clones was better, I think. He cut out all the cringy stuff. And then Revenge of the Sith, that one's pretty good, but then he cut the one line he should not cut out. This is how Liberty dies, with thunder supply. He cut that out. You know, whatever. Yeah, Star Wars is dead, and the sequel trilogy were a huge disappointment. I kind of held out my thoughts because I wanted to see how it all played out. A lot of people called it from the beginning. I kind of had to wait until all 3 came out, and when it did, it was just like, really? That's the story you wanted to tell? And then you find out what all the behind the scenes was, and oh, I hate all of it. No. And then when they announced the Disney Plus shows, I just have no interest in them. Star Wars is not a TV show. You know, unless it's like animated. No, it's not a TV show. Star Wars is epic. It's theatrical releases. You can try to convince yourself that you can make it a Game of Thrones style. No, that hasn't worked. And we get to the Acolyte, and that is pure garbage. I'm not watching the show, but I'm definitely watching the reviews for the show. That is way more entertaining. So I don't care about Star Wars moving forward. You know, I stopped buying the books. I'm stopping the comics. I'm only going to get Star Wars and Vader, but everything else I'm not getting. And I think once they finish their run, I'm probably not going to get more. No, I'm not giving Disney my money. Any new figures I get is probably going to be on clearance, or I just won't buy it. Yeah. So I got a ton of this guy on clearance. So yeah, look at his action pose. So those are my thoughts, and here are my small number of Sith Lords with Darth Twi'lek and Darth Calamari. And Darth Demona. Hey, Demona. Oh, do we got a pretty girl behind you? Oh, pretty girl. Thanks for watching.